An alien hand, part 2. Next day, when Tillu's father went to work, he found the control room full of excitement. People were crowded around the big TV screen. It showed a dot in an otherwise clear background. So what happened, when Tillu's father went to work, he found the control room was full of excitement. That means something they could observe. This is the reason why the control room was full of excitement, and all the people crowded around a TV big screen, and which was shown a dot in the screen. It isn't a star, for it's changing its position. Our computer has given a trajectory for this thing. It's heading towards us. The supervisor of the last shift explained. The supervisor was explaining about this unclear dot. So he is telling it's not a star. If a star, it could not move, but this is moving. Trajectory. What is a trajectory? It's a trajectory is a curved path. So this dot is moving through a curved path. A spacecraft? Tillu's father asked. By now, he was joined by his teammates on the new shift. So we think, but it needs watching. So Tillu's father was there for his shift time, and he is telling whether it could be a new spacecraft. So we think, but it needs watching. We think so. We are thinking it could be a spacecraft, and we are watching. A spacecraft? Where from? The solar system was seen not to have any life anywhere else except on their planet. A spacecraft. They are wondering about, because they all know that this planet is only the planet on the universe, and they don't know any other planet. So they are wondering. Tillu's father recalled the ancient days recorded in the archives at the Central Bureau when their ancestors had a well-developed space program and had searched the solar system with a manned and unmanned spacecraft and found that they were indeed alone. Now, in the days of energy shortage and underground life, they had no space program. They could only watch impotently from their vantage point. Who were these strangers? So Tillu's father, remembering when their forefathers were living on the surface of that planet, they also have a lot of space programs, well-developed space programs to know about the solar system. So they are thinking whether some kind of other planets will have some kind of life, and they are also sending spacecrafts for inquiring about our planet. And they are impotent. They could only watch impotently. What is the meaning? Impotently. Impotently means without enough power to influence a situation. That means they also wanted to know about the solar system and the universe, but this condition, since they are underground, it will be incapable for them to search for such spacecraft and solar system. So they are thinking, just like that, just like their forefathers have invented spacecrafts and studying about the solar system, any such spacecraft from any other planet could be coming towards them. Then they are thinking, who were these strangers? The conference room in the Central Bureau was so quiet that an outsider would have thought it was empty. Far from it. It was filled to capacity, but the members of the Central Committee were unusually quiet. They knew that the president was going to make a momentous announcement. So the conference room in the Central Bureau was so quiet that an outsider would have thought it was empty. An outsider, that means people who are observing the spacecraft could think that it could be an empty spacecraft, but they don't know what is inside it. So they are thinking President could be going make a momentous announcement. Colleagues, I will give you the report as I have it. While I speak, there may be a change in the situation. The President paused to get his papers in order and then continued. Two spacecraft are approaching us. One is in fact orbiting our planet, while the other is still far away. We guess that they are coming from our neighboring planet. How should we react? Number one, your views please. So President makes announcement and he is informing the people that two spacecrafts are reaching our planet. One is orbiting. Orbiting means rounding about the planet, and the other is coming to land on our planet. So we don't know what to do. So he is asking what to do with number one. He is asking suggestion from number one. Number one was in charge of defense. He was known for his courage and wisdom. Sir, if we wish, we can totally destroy these spacecraft with our missiles, but that won't make us any wiser. We do not have the capacity to render these spacecraft unoperational in space. But should they land, we can render them ineffective anytime we choose. Our reports say that they do not contain living beings. They only have instruments. So the number one is giving ideas, that he is telling, if we want to destroy the spacecraft from their arrival, we can do. But we don't know what is their mission, what is inside. I think there are no men inside that spacecraft, and there only be some kind of instruments. So he is telling, let them come and let us observe. Number two, your opinion please. The President asked the scientist on the committee. I recommended non-interference and passive observation, since we do not know the power of the senders of these spacecraft, and we are still in the dark about their intentions. It is wise not to reveal our existence. If we destroy these spaceships or render them ineffective, we might reveal our existence. So, number two is telling, we don't know the power of that coming spacecraft. If they are having some intention to destroy us, it is better we watch invisible. Okay, we watch invisible, and we have to observe what this spacecraft is doing towards us. Sometimes if we reveal, it must be against our existence. The President looked at number three, a social scientist. He rarely agreed with number two, but this was one of those rare occasions when he did. So President looked, there are three people are there from their high security. So the third one is telling, he rarely agreed with the number two, but this was one of those rare occasions when he did. So first one was telling, if we want to destroy that spacecraft, we can destroy from here, but we want to know what is their mission. And two is telling, we don't destroy them, we have invisibly we have to observe them. Number three is telling, let us go along with the idea of second. I agree with number two, sir. In fact, I will go so far as to say that we should keep our surface activities to the minimum, thus creating the impression that there is no life on this planet. Fortunately, our surface conditions do give that impression. Before the President could speak, his personal telephone rang. He lifted the receiver and listened quietly for a minute. Colleagues, he announced, the first spacecraft has landed. So, again he is telling, I agree with number 2 because the surface condition of this planet will tell them that no living things are there. Since we are underground, we don't know what is the intention of this spacecraft. So let us simply hide behind somewhere and observe what is their intention. What is their intention? So when they were telling about these things, they could hear his president's telephone rang up, and he is telling, colleagues, the first aircraft landed.